Joining me now is a passionate supporter of medical marijuana, Montel Williams, who uses it to alleviate his own chronic pain. Also joining us is Mom Dana, who's been fighting to get a marijuana prescription for her 8-year-old daughter, Lorelei. So let's start with you, Dana. What's your daughter's condition? What's going on with her?
Well, my daughter Lorelei, she's 8 years old, and she has epilepsy and also autism, among other things. Until she was 22 months of age, she was a happy, healthy little girl. But at 22 months of age, she started having seizures. You know, she's not a candidate for brain surgery. She has been through all of the medications, a laundry list. Unfortunately, they just don't do enough to treat her seizures. She still has hundreds a day.
Hundreds a day?
Hundreds a day.
So what gave you the idea that medical marijuana might help?
Well, you know, every day is a struggle for Lorelei. It is for our whole family. You know, every night she sleeps in our bed with us, every night, without fail. It's something that is a ritual for us. I need to do this so that if she has a seizure, I can be there to help her. Every morning before I can do anything, I listen for her breath. I put my hand on her chest and I wait for it to rise and fall. Before I can do anything, I need to make sure that my child is still alive and that she's with me. And so when all the medical options had failed, I needed to do something. Any mother would. So I went and I did my own research. What kept coming up was medical marijuana. And at first, of course, I was skeptical. I thought, oh my gosh, I'm not going to have my child smoke a joint. Because, of course, I was uneducated. But I had to do something. And so I continued to educate myself. I continued to research. And in August of 2013, the Sanjay Gupta special on CNN called Weed aired. They explained how this worked, and I was seeing children in other states that were using this, and it was helping. Their children were seeing a massive reduction in their seizures, if not completely eliminating them. And so I thought, there's really something to this, and I have to do something. So the very next day, I got in contact with my legislature, and I said, we need to do something now. We need to get a bill passed. I got in contact with the media. I started her Legalize for Lorelei Facebook page. I got the story out in any way that I could. That was 2.5 years ago. We continue to fight, and we will continue to fight until this passes.
So to be clear, and God bless you for doing it, your doctor, your daughter's neurologist, who we spoke to actually, confirms that he thinks this is a reasonable thing to do. So your doctor's telling you to do something. You have seen reports of similar children with remarkable benefits. There have been children who have having hundreds of seizures a day getting better.
Correct.
Yet it's illegal for you to do what you know you need to do for your daughter.
Correct.
I mean, Montel, how's this possible?
Doc, remember, what was it? I think it was almost 4 years ago, you and I sat on your stage and had a conversation about it back then. What's so sick about this, Doc, is that the United States government owns the patent on the CBD, THC. America doesn't know this. Our government has spent money and has paid for the research that has confirmed that cannabinoids work. Our government has literally been dispensing marijuana for over 38 years from the University of Mississippi to a very small group of people. So the problem here is that it has nothing to do with whether or not it works. It has to do with the fact that we have to get some politicians to get off the hop and make sure they take the patient out of the discussion. Get them off the battlefield. Because what's going on, we can argue all we want. This is saving lives. When a doctor says to a mother, give your child some cannabinoid oil, what right does anybody have to get in the middle of that conversation? I don't get it. So why are we doing it?
So what's your advice for Dana right now? Because she's sitting at home with a beautiful 8-year-old who's being hurt by seizures, and we've got folks getting in the way who really just don't understand it. Because if they understood it, they wouldn't be in the way.
You do this to me because, see, you hit me right where you know you hit me. But I say to her, and I'm proud of her, please, Dana, keep doing it. A number of other families she's going to help. And remember, what you have to understand is that the law is changing. The world is changing. New York State passed a medical marijuana law. They will have 4 grow facilities, and they will have dispensaries here. We all have to come together and say, it is time to end the lies. There's a medication that can help, and why don't they want this to happen? Because guess what?
I love Dana's giving Montel.
Thank you.
We see where the strength is here.
Yeah, no kidding. At the end of the day, though, you know, give us another 4, 5, 6, 7 months down the road. The number of states that are now trying to pass cannabis laws and cannabinoid laws are multiplying exponentially. We need more people to get behind us and say, stop the madness, take the patient off the battlefield, figure out your laws later. Give these children what they need to be able to live. That's what we need to do. And Dana, thank you for doing this. Lead the fight. Lead the fight.
All right, up next, what you need to know about the new science of medical marijuana. Find out how it works from a mom who gives it to her 2-year-old daughter. Stay with us. It's been 6 months since Lainey has been able to use cannabis oil as a treatment. So, Erin, how's it working?
It has been life-changing. Our little baby that we thought we would never see a smile again, had lost hope that she would ever walk, talk, move her limbs. She kicked a ball on command in therapy. She's knocking over blocks. She's mouthing words, and she smiled for the first time in 2 years.
Unbelievable. So you were backstage hearing the earlier conversation. Dana is trying to get where you are.
Yes.
What do you have to say to her?
Don't stop fighting. I was where you were, and I remember just sitting and watching as they denied our bill the first year and thinking, you know, how many children will die this year? You know, what will my child be one of them? And we continued to fight and continued to fight, and just don't stop fighting. It will be so powerful in the end. It'll happen for you.
What do you think, Dana? It's sort of cool to see another mother's child go through something that you're hoping for.
It is. And, you know, it's frustrating when politicians are playing with people's lives. You know, this is a medical issue, not a politic, you know, not one of politics. They shouldn't be denying people medication. You know, they need to pass comprehensive laws, step aside and let doctors do their jobs.
Hallelujah.
There's, you know, there's money in this, there's politics in this, but what we've got to really slow down and understand is, again, as long as we keep arguing and fighting, there are children and people suffering. One of the things I haven't said, I have been a cannabis user for everybody who wants to understand this. I have not missed a day putting some form of cannabinoid in my body for the last 16 years. Dr. Oz, I entered the show. I've used cannabinoids this morning multiple times. I ate it last night before I went to sleep. This is how I function. Now, I take a Western medication. I stick a needle in my body every single day.
This is for your MS.
For my MS, every single day. I take another drug. I'm not putting down other medications. I'm trying to say to you, though, since the day I started using cannabis, instead of all the pain medication and all the psychotropic medication, I use none of those. I don't take an Advil. If I have an issue that I've sprained my ankle, I use cannabinoids because it continues to affect me that way now that I've
Can I just clarify something for everybody? Because people are judging right now. They're trying to figure out, is this real or not? And they're saying, okay, it helps Montel with his MS, but how can it also help a child with seizures and help someone going through chemo with their nausea? Let me just explain it for a second. There are cannabinoid receptors, these receptors all over the body. And they're there for a reason. They're connected to nerves that control many of the things that happen in our body. These nerves control the pain we may have, the seizures, nausea, anxiety. When medical marijuana stimulates those receptors, it affects a lot of different things, depending on what kind of marijuana is used. So it can actually, for example, like for Lainey, it'll help with your child's seizures. It also, for Montel, deal with your pain issues. And for someone else who's got nausea or anxiety, it'll deal with that as well. So one system, the nervous system of the body, controls all that. You have one key to unlock that system, which is what medical marijuana promises to do, and you can unlock them one at a time or all. Remember, not all forms of marijuana even make you high. Right? Does Lainey smoke a cigarette, a joint?
No, not at all.
Well, how do you give her the marijuana?
It's an oil base, and we literally just put drops under her tongue.
Okay. And if you drank that bottle, do you think you'd get high?
No. No,
you wouldn't. It's not about getting high. It's about harvesting wisdom that nature gives us and using it wisely, which is why we've got a 1920s or 30s bias about this stuff that's percolating through our mindset, our morality, our values, making us think it's a criminal issue. It's nothing to do with that. And you said it so beautifully, Dana. Completely unrelated. So I've talked a lot, Montel, this year about prescription drugs.
Yes, sir.
Which in our country is a catastrophic problem. The opioids, we consume 75% in the world right now, even though we're 5% of the population. You probably are exposed to opioids periodically, right? And you almost lost your life, I think.
Correct, absolutely. Let me tell you, the reason why I shifted over using cannabis as my primary lifestyle, maybe I might have smoked a little bit one party once or twice. The day I found out that cannabinoids could work to help relieve my neuropathy that I have, rather than taking all the sets, and I was taking all of those sets. So when I say set, I'm not using the name of the drug, because they're that's a set, right? I was taking
opioids, right? Narcotic pills.
I took enough opioids that my doctor told me had I gone another month, I would have shut down both my liver and my kidneys. Yeah. I was at one point, just so you understand, I was taking 9 Oxycontin a day. Because my pain, and if you go back and read my book, that I talked about, Climbing Higher, I almost wanted to take my life because my pain in my feet is so bad. I learned how to use cannabinoids. Let me tell you, you nailed this, because people have to understand. I can sit down in the course of a single day and probably eat and consume more cannabinoids than most people would even think about doing in a week. And I don't get any psychotropic effect, because you looked at it. My endocannabinoid system blocks my ability to actually process it. I have to spend a long time to see if I can get a euphoria. I skip it. I don't drink wine or anything like that, so I skip the euphoria. All I want to do is settle my pain, and I do that with my cannabinoids.
Thank you both very much. I know it's a hard thing to do. I wish you the best of luck, Dan. We'll be with you. Up next, Montel uses medical marijuana to treat his chronic pain, but that's not all he does. He shared his pill-free pain solutions with you. We'll be right back. Next, dealing with a chronic condition, Montel reveals his own secrets to manage and prevent pain. A typical Montel day. A natural diet and exercise routine that can help you live with everyday pain. Coming up next. Today's show is about giving you real solutions on how to live with chronic conditions. And now, Montel Williams is here to reveal his own secrets to living with everyday pain. In addition to the medical marijuana, which everyone knows about, there's so much more you do to address the pain from MS. So give me a couple ideas.
Definitely one thing that everybody seems to think is kind of a joke. I meditate every day. That's important. But also, I change my diet, and I've changed the way I exercise. Both of them contributing to lessening some of the inflammation in my body. I try to use as much anti-inflammatory foods as I possibly can, so I eat a lot of fruits and vegetables. But I stay on it. I'm different than a lot of other people. I work out every single day. There are days that come by where I can't because I may be on a plane. That's my day off. But if I may work out 12 days in a row because I'm not doing exercises and things that, watch this. When I first started in business, I weighed about 210 pounds. I got as big as 220. I was walking around thinking that the more weights I picked up, the more space I picked up, made me more of a man. So I finally realized that when I got MS, I didn't need to be that big anymore. So I'm walking around about 190 pounds. But I do exercises now that, I do exercises that don't concentrate on that. They concentrate on more on life.
So let's do 2 things. Walk me through the food. We'll start there. And then I know you have some exercises you set up.
Absolutely.
So this is a typical Montel day. So what's this?
I take a smoothie every single day, and my smoothie is something called Complete. You're going to hear about it later on, but it's basically fruits and vegetables in a really easily absorbable way. So I take one of those every single day, and that has phytonutrients in it, it has probiotics in it, it has vegetables in it. So I'm starting my day with something that's just getting my metabolism going. I go right to nuts. Simple treats in the middle of the day. I might have a piece of fruit here instead of some nuts. I'll switch them where they are on the grid, but this is really primarily what I eat every day. Lunchtime. I go for about 8 to 10 ounces of some form of protein. I try to eat red meat only once every 10 days. I'm really trying to be strict on this. I'm trying to make sure I can make
because of the inflammation issue.
Correct, inflammation issue. I'm eating chicken and fish, mostly fish, and I add vegetables, have to. Afternoon, fruit, either by smoothie or something, another little snack in the middle of the day, fruit, a banana, something. And then for evening, if I had 10 ounces of protein for lunch, I don't have more than 6.5 ounces of protein for dinner. And I mix that with all my grains. I try to get in my couscous. I try to get in my vegetables. That's when I'm doing spinach. That's when I'm doing kale. That's when I'm doing green beans. I pile that up as much as I possibly can.
Is that cookie a mistake?
Now, that cookie, watch this. A little different than most people. I don't believe in diet. I hate the word. If all the diets that were on the internet, if you go up online right now, put in the word diet, there's probably 6 million of them. If any one of them worked, there'd only be one.
That's right.
So the truth is, I don't like denying myself something. Last night, your producer called me. She said, what do you have? I said, well, I normally only eat cookies. But last night, guess what? I had a Klondike bar. I did. I
haven't had that in years.
I know, right? Because why? I kept hearing that stupid commercial and I wanted one. Instead of denying myself that, I have one. I won't eat another piece of ice cream for about 3 weeks. So I try to limit my treats. I don't deny myself anything. If I want to have a marshmallow, I have a marshmallow. But I'm only going to have one.
Come on over here.
Okay.
The thing that I was really excited about was your exercise plan.
Sure.
Remember, years ago, we went to a gym together.
Yes, sir.
And you taught me how you do, too. So if you take this one, I'll
take this one.
Yeah.
All right, look.
Now, these, by the way, you can just attach these to a door, right, to a bar in the house, anything.
These are exercise straps, varied names of them. But what's so good about this, you put it on your door hinge. What's so good about it, you can use your body weight to stretch. Now, right now, I put my feet, the closer to the pivot point, the harder it is. Right. But I'm just stretching. Now, I'll give you I'm going to be on this side. You stay over there. Watch this.
You're going to swim into each other like this?
Yeah. No. But I'll give you a cool exercise.
All right.
I'm holding on this. All I'm going to do is take this leg and swing it back over here. All I'm trying to do is stretch my body. Swing that leg way over. Get the other leg on the other side. Come over this way. Leg way over. Yeah, you're just trying to get the stretch on your body. You can even use this right here. Here's my pivot point. Get under your pivot point. If you just drop back. Leg straight. I can use this in my own body weight to exercise. I'm using my shoulders. If I want to sit down, watch this. Now I can do shoulder work.
So you don't bulk up, you get the lean muscles that I know so many folks want.
Sorry, yeah, well, you know what? I turned 60 this
Go
year.
ahead and show me the damn abs. Go.
I turned 60.
Show me the abs.
You know what I'm saying? I turned
Look at this.
60. This year.
Celebrating Montel. We'll be right back.
Thank you, my friend.